President Zelensky, you look fabulous in that suit.
I said the same thing.
Yeah, you look good.
I said the same thing.
Yeah, looks good.
I said the one that attacked you last time. See, now I remember that.
Yeah, I apologize to you. You look wonderful. No, my first question for you, President Zelensky.
In the same suit. You see, I changed you.
All right, let's bring in Stephen A. Smith. It's good to see you, my brother. I got to tell you, this
good to see
really.
You. How you doing?
I'm okay, man, but this bothers me. And I'll tell you why, man. This guy's got thousands of people dying every week in his country. Yeah. And this is the BS that the American media gives a damn about. And I believe this is authentic. Yeah. It matters more what he's wearing and why than whether or not that war ends in terms of our battle with one another here politically. How crazy is that?
Well, it's not crazy. It's predictable because what it shows is America's occasional selfishness. We care more about us than we give a damn about people who are dying in Ukraine, some of us anyway. And the reason why I say something like that is because you're more concerned about what this man is wearing as opposed to what he's experiencing on a day-to-day basis because of a war that was instigated by Russia. And when you ignore what's going on in his nation to focus on something so frivolous, so trivial, it's a problem. Now, is it good that he wore a suit this time? Sure. You're showing up to the White House. It is the White House after all. You're a statesman and stuff like that. We get it. But we also shouldn't make a big deal if he doesn't. He's preoccupied with something far, far more serious and more vicious than showing up to the White House to have a conversation with the President of the United States, his surrogates, as well as the media itself. And it's unfortunate that we would even play into that, but it shows where our priorities lie. If we were experiencing war in real time, having bombs, having our schools bombed and our homes bombed and our businesses and our roads and our infrastructure, just decimated. If we were going through that, we wouldn't be thinking about wearing a suit. We'd be thinking about taking off our jackets, our ties and everything, rolling up our sleeves and doing what we had to do to deal with the situation. But apparently we forget about that when it comes to another nation, and that's unfortunate.
What do you make of the political calculation for the president to even have this ambition? This is a guy who campaigned on how stupid foreign involvements are for America. He didn't get the Iraq war because we didn't even come away with the oil. You can criticize his disposition towards these things, but he's been pretty consistent. And now he's putting a lot of capital, taking a lot of heat, trying to make peace in a place that he campaigned wanting to not deal with anymore. What do you think the upside is to him for this, and is it worth it?
Well, the first things first, the reality is, and excusing my language, he opened his mouth and deposited checks his ass can't cash. That's really what it comes down to. You got to be able to end this war. You talked a lot of stuff about ending this war and how you would end it in one day. Now, we recognize that that's hyperbole. We understand that something like that is not going to end in one day. But the flip side is that he was proclaiming that he had such a relationship, with the president of Russia, Vladimir Putin, that, he could get him to do what others couldn't do. Well, okay, let's fast forward 6 months later. What do? You have a meeting with Putin on American soil. No big deal there. I'm not making a big deal at where the meeting was in Alaska. I don't care if it was in Russia or anywhere else. Who cares? What I care about is the fact that you promised a ceasefire or severe consequences before the meeting. And in the immediate aftermath of a meeting, there was no ceasefire agreement. And a matter of fact, you seemed damn near friendly towards him, acting like the meeting was productive. Well, where's the evidence? We don't see any as of yet. There hasn't been a ceasefire that's been achieved. They're talking about moving beyond that and having a peace agreement, which is far more lengthy, far more sustainable, et cetera, et cetera. Well, it's going to take some time to accomplish that. We understand that too. But in the time that it takes to accomplish that, what is Putin going to do? Chances are he's going to bomb Ukraine even more so. Chances are he's going to try to gain more territory. He's going to continue to kill more Ukrainians. That's the likelihood. Yeah. So when we sit around and act like, this is a lengthy process, it's going to take some time, and it's antithetical to what he said and what kind of impression that he gave, and you combine that with the fact that, very little is getting done in terms of proof as to what the relationship truly is. If you've got that kind of relationship with Putin, he got a photo op, he got a chance to be on American soil, and he avoided having to agree to a ceasefire or anything else. So it was a pretty damn good day for Putin as far as we can tell.
Good day for Putin,
just a
especially-
good day for an authoritarian leader. How's that a bad day for? How's that a good day for us?
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.